Yo, it's your friend Dinner Dog, and the start of the game is the most important. Even though the prologue's not randomized, it makes a big difference for Alucard once he actually starts the game and starts going through Dracula's castle. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about a bunch of things. First, we're going to see like why the prologue matters in detail, and then we're going to look at how do you do the prologue really quickly using the Stair Master method. So, the problem with the prologue and approaching it, especially if you've watched a lot of the top runners, is that they use a series of blade dashes to move around quickly in the prologue. That's ideal. Here's the problem. Maybe you can't do blade dashes. I can't do them, at least not reliably. I've tried hours upon hours to try to do them. So instead of trying to burn a lot of time doing some movement that I really can't figure out, I've spent time optimizing what I can do and then look to mitigate certain things and find other ways to make up time. So we're going to be going through that specifically through the Dracula fight. So we're going to be looking at what a typical Dracula fight looks like. And then I've got some fun things to do what I call an aggressive Dracula fight to make up a couple extra seconds that may put you on par with folks that do the blade dash technique. All right, so let's just get started here. So why does this prologue matter, right? So the time it takes you to beat Dracula determines a number of things. So if you can beat Dracula in roughly under a minute, good things happen. If you're over a minute to the photo burn, bad things start happening. So first and foremost, so like your four main attributes are significantly decreased. So they can hover around typically 12 or maybe 13 if you're lucky, and they can go as low as 6. And in particular, that's a bad thing for strength. So going from 12 to 6 essentially halves your offense with your fist, which you're probably going to be starting out with, right? Because the fist just does the same damage as your strength value is. But remember, you got to minus the defense of the enemy. So let's say an enemy's got 2 defense. If you punch them with 12 strength, you're going to be doing 10 damage. If you punch the same enemy with 6 strength, you're doing 4 damage. So you're doing less than half of what you would do with typical strength. It's a big deal. Like it can really slow down the beginning of the game and really hamper you through the whole playthrough. Like 6 damage matters. So you really want to get that. We don't really care too much about like int kind of matters and constitution and luck really don't, but they're all going to have the same scaling. So this you need to do this. The Also your starting MP is going to be set to 20, and this is regardless of whatever sub weapon you're holding at the end of the fight. The We'll talk about that later, but 20 from a potential maximum of 30. That's You're losing 33% of your starting MP, and that in particular impacts when you can do certain spells, right? Like you need 50 to be able to do Soul Steal. So you're going to have to wait that much longer until you can actually execute that move. So it's really big. Your starting HP is also impacted. So no matter what, you're going to be starting with 70 MP, or sorry, 70 HP if you do the fight slowly. If you do it fairly well, and so you do it with under a minute to photo burn, and you get hit, you'll start with 75, and then you'll get 80 if you can do everything without getting hit. And these are going to matter because it's worthwhile to reset if you don't get the under 1 minute fight, especially in a race. Like it's worth the extra minute and so to reset and do the fight again, rather than trying to go through the game with less strength and MP in particular. The And so when Alucard spawns as he's running towards the castle, you'll see his HP value. If you see 70, you've definitely not met it. It doesn't matter anything else you've done. If you see 70, your stats are bad, your MP's bad. So just reset. Don't go into the menu to like try to figure out if you've got okay strength. Just reset and save yourself a couple of seconds. So those things are really huge. And there's some other pieces that matter as well. So you'll start the game as Alucard with 2 random use items if you do 2 things. And this is even true in the vanilla game, although those items are set. If you enter the Dracula fight with 41 or more hearts, you'll get a use item. If you end the fight with 0 hearts, and that's ending like losing control of Richter. So if you beat Dracula and you still have a few hearts left, that's fine as long as you can get rid of them before you lose control. You'll get another use item. So in the game, you typically get a neutron bomb and a heart refresh. Those things aren't really that important, but you could get a library card or a mana prism or a power of sire, like things that can help you out a lot. So it's definitely worthwhile to take the time to get these extra hearts and then to burn them at the end. Well, I mean, the burning them won't cost you any time, but it will cost you a bit of time to get 41 hearts, and it's absolutely worth it. Now we talked about mana before, and if you do the prologue and you end up with the holy water, you'll start with 25 MP. But if you do it under a minute and you have the cross, you start with 30 MP. And again, this is important because like your mana pool is going to be bigger for the whole game, which really matters for like wing smashes. So you may be able to get an extra one in, and you'll get access to spells faster, in particular Soul Steal. So if you get into health trouble, then you can get out of it with Soul Steal. But if you have less mana to start, you got to get your levels up to a point where you have that much MP. So it's a pretty big deal. And so what we do is we typically don't want to use this cross during the fight because the cross is bad. Like throwing one cross isn't great. The holy cross is bad. So what we want to do is, and you've probably seen it, but we want to juggle keeping the cross on screen and active while using the holy water to do what we call damage stacks, which is when you use the item crash, which is a hydrostorm, and then during hydrostorm you throw out another, you throw out a regular holy water. That can cause the game to put a lot of damage on Dracula very quickly. You're not guaranteed to get it, but like there's some randomness to it. I'm not completely sure how that piece works, but you can really get through both his first and second forms quickly by using this method. So to iterate on or to reiterate the fact here, like here is what your inventory can look like when you do things really well. So I got to control Alucard within a minute and 21 seconds of game time. My strength is fantastic. I got an extra point of int on top of that. That's great, and my stats are good. I've got some cool stuff here. If you don't do these things and like all your stats here are bad, I mean, it impacts hearts, but who cares about hearts? At least in the randomizer, my strength is horrible. I don't have any extra use items. I mean, to be fair, Pentagram and Iron Ball aren't that great, but you could have got a library card, which can be fantastic. So let's break this down. So I'm gonna be breaking down all the individual steps of doing the typical way, or the way to get to Dracula without using blade dashes. That's fairly optimized. And then we're gonna take a look at what the Dracula fight looks like, both the standard fight and what I'm going to be showing as a more aggressive fight. So here's the big thing. So it's definitely slower than blade dashing, but by the time you learn, like, it's not worth your time to usually learn blade dashing unless you're like really good at it. Like I've spent hours trying to do it, and it's just a mess. So this is why I use this. And even if you can get the blade dash method, I'm typically faster than some of the other racers because it's easier to screw it up. And if you like, so like they lose time like messing up a blade dash and stuff like that. So let's look at the Stairmaster method. And I name it Stairmaster because we're going to be jumping up these stairs. So the first thing we want to do is when we start the game is we want to mash start to skip the first cutscene that plays that gives some exposition. If you need to have a clear file on the memory cards that are used to be able to skip any cutscene. So you want to do that first. If you don't have a clear file, either just beat the game and have one saved, or I believe we've got a save file on the long library pinned in the randomizer chat. Anyway, so we want to skip the cutscene. And then when we get to the first part, it's the stairs. So we want to double tap right away to initiate a run. Some people will do whatchamacallit, like a slide to start off. I like just initiating a run because we're not going to be doing a slide into a uppercut. We're going to be running up the stairs while jumping. And if you do the slide, then you've got to do another double input to start the run again. So I just like starting the run. It maybe cost me like a fraction of a second. Just do the run. So once you've done your first jump onto the stairs, you're going to do 4 more jumps to get to the top of the stairs. And the reason we're jumping, and you can play around with it, but like Richter's really slow while running up the stairs. He climbs them faster while jumping. When we get to the near after the 4th jump, we're going or on the 4th jump, we're going to use the whip halfway through the jump, specifically to break this candle. You'll see here in the screenshot that I actually hit the button here once with the whip, but it doesn't matter if you hit the button or not. That's not what's relevant here. We certainly don't want to open the stairs, which you would do by opening the button and then hitting it again. So our real big thing is we're just trying to break the candle with this swing. So once we've broken the candle, we want to initiate another run to pick up the cross. So that's completing the stairs and grabbing the cross. So that's fantastic. The next piece is we want to initiate the uppercut. So the purpose of this is that there's a big heart in the in essentially Dracula's attic, and we want to get that bad boy pretty quickly so we can get to 41 hearts. So as we're running to get that cross, at the end of the ledge, which is here, we want to jump off the ledge, and as we get further to the left, we want to initiate an uppercut going up and to the right. So I've kind of drawn it in here, but you can see the grade line above. But without opening the stairs, you can see where the stairs are going to come down. And for Richter, he doesn't need to open them. He can just fly right through that bad boy. So that's what we want to do. So we want to start the uppercut somewhere underneath the green line here, in particular to the left side of it, because we're going to travel to the right. We don't want to hit the ceiling. So how I do this is I do a jump, and then midway through the jump, I'm going to push down, up, and right, and then jump again to initiate the uppercut. You can do it from the ground if you can't do it in the air, and it actually doesn't waste a lot of time because you'll have like less Richter goes faster up than down. You'll have less space to go down, so it's not that big of a deal if you can't do it in midair. So once we do that uppercut, we're going to hit the vase that the heart is in on the way up, and then we'll fall down onto the ledge that you see here, and then either initiate a run to the left to get off of the ledge and head back down, or the better way is to do a slide. So hold down left and jump to initiate the slide off of the ledge. But either way is fine. Slide or run. But don't jump. Jump is bad. So as we're falling down, so there's gonna be, especially if you're playing on like a PlayStation or a PlayStation emulator, when you go from this screen and run off, there's gonna the screen's gonna go black for like a second as it loads the next room. While it's doing that, you want to mash the attack button, and the purpose behind that is you want Richter to whip as soon as you can as you come out from the top of the ceiling. So why we want to do this is as you do the whip in midair, the whip's going to stay out long enough to break the candle that you see over here. So that's good. And Richter is going to, when he hits the ground, he's going to stay in place while the whip is out. So we want the whip to be out as soon as possible so that when Richter hits the ground, he can start moving again. So once you've broken that bad boy here and you can move, you want to run to the left to grab this heart. And then to the left of further of that, there's another vase. You want to then whip after the run to break that vase. That's going to stop your movement, but it's unfortunately just required because we're not doing blade dashes. You can see here how I'm pretty close to where the vase is. Ideally, you'd be a bit further back. You want to break the vase as soon as you can without missing with the whip. And the reason we want to do that is because once we break that vase, we can start doing slides. So by holding down, left, and jump, and that's much faster movement. So what we want to do, our objective here once we get this 41st heart, is we want to do 4 slides. And we want to do it so that we end up kind of right here. And in this example, I'm going to kind of go up too far to the left. But we want to end up here. So we do 4 slides so that we stop Richter on the fourth slide where he's going to stand in the next cutscene, so he doesn't have to walk back to it. If we go too far, he'll just like trot along back to where he's supposed to be. So you want to do it's a bit tricky. You don't want to do full four slides because you'll go too far. So you can start a new slide during a slide, and you don't want to do them too quickly because then you'll do like this like big kick thing, and that's not what we want to do, at least right now. So you kind of just have to like time it a bit fast. It's like slide, 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 rather than slide, 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 slide. I'm gonna show you an example in a moment, but we're gonna like do like short slides without getting the big sweeping jump. And then lastly, once Richter stands up from this slide, you just want to ram on the start button so that we skip the cutscene. So that's going to get us to Dracula. The you kind of know if your time's good by the I use a musical cue, so I'll play it in a bit, but you hear the music go dun 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 boo, and that boo sound, like if you can get to Dracula before that plays and like you don't hear that sound, you've done it really quickly. If you hear the really high note on the guitar, there's some time you could save, but it's not too impactful. But if you're looking to get more ideal, you want to not have that note play. All right, so we've got to Dracula, and now we're going to beat him. And what you've probably seen before, and we're going to break down right here, is the 6-throw Dracula fight. So what are we looking to accomplish? The big piece of this fight is we're looking to abuse damage stacking. So we want to throw holy water during a hydro storm item crash, and that will cause Dracula's health to tick down very quickly and significantly. We want to do it once during Dracula's first form, and ideally we want to do it twice in the second form. We're going to juggle our sub-weapons so that we can attack with the holy water, but end the fight with the cross so we can get the 5 MP. If you lose the cross, don't worry about it. It's ideal to keep it, but the biggest piece is attacking with the holy water, because you won't make the time limit if you're just using, if you're not using the damage stack method, or like you're unlikely to be able to do that. So the holy water is more important than the cross. So how are we going to do this bad boy? And I'm going to do a demonstration, but how this works is once we get control of Richter, how I do it is I run, jump, and attack with either the whip or the cross. I like throwing a cross to get rid of an extra heart, because now that we've got 41, we want to end the fight with 0, so getting rid of as many as we can is great. And we want to use this attack on the leftmost candle. That's going to give us the holy water, and it's going to drop the cross behind you to the right of you. So once we've done that, we want to throw 6 holy waters. And my example picture here isn't that great, but the closest we can finish this jump to the edge of the screen, the better. Because what happens is when you throw a holy water, you can't toss another one until both Richter's done his throw animation and the holy water's done its attack. But if you throw the holy water off of the screen, that attack never happens. So that allows you to just keep chucking these bad boys like it ain't no thing. It's like Richter's like tossing eggs on Halloween. It's great. So the closer you are to the edge of the screen, the better. You don't want the holy water to hit the ground on the screen. That's really slow. You'll never throw 6 then. So once we've thrown 6, we want to then run to the right to grab the cross. That's going to put the holy water behind you to the left. And then immediately we want to run back to the holy water. You won't be able to grab it immediately. Like the holy water is going to hit the ground, flash for a second, but you want to grab that ASAP. And when you do, so you want to run to the left and keep facing left until or my left. Sorry, I'm probably pointing in the wrong direction, but you know what I mean. You want to run towards the holy water and keep looking that direction until Richter picks it up, which will drop the cross behind him. And then from there, Dracula is likely spawned in, or is about to spawn in. So once you get the holy water, you want to look right and then hit triangle, which will start the item crash. So he's going to go Hydro Storm and all this stuff, right? And then once he's done, or during the, or like once he's done with his finger, you'll gain control of Richter while the Hydro Storm's going on. Immediately, you want to hold up and press attack to throw another Holy Water. And the reason why we looked right before is because the Holy Water is the actual attack is going to stay on the screen, rather if we look to the left, so you're going to get more value out of it. So how this works is Hydro Storm, throw the Holy Water, and then Dracula is going to die. So you can pick up the cross. You have to pick it up fairly quickly, so just do it right away. This is going to kill phase 1 with this approach. You're definitely going to, you don't have to do anything else, just murder him. So yeah, and again, like make sure you immediately grab the cross. Once you've got the cross, you want to grab the Holy Water again, but ideally you're grabbing the Holy Water as Dracula's turning into his second form. And you can kind of see the white outline here of like his sprite, which is going to go inside of him for like dramatic effect. That's when you want to pick up the Holy Water. And then immediately start another Hydro Storm by first grabbing the Holy Water, looking right quickly, and then start the item crash. That's going to be important to then the next part here. So in phase 2, we do the item crash right when you pick up the Holy Water and look right, like immediately do that. And then what you're going to do is after the item crash, immediately keep hitting attack and up. What that's going to do is you're going to throw a Holy Water, which is going to initiate the damage stack. And then you're going to keep hitting the attack button, but don't mash it. So what's going to happen here is it's going to cause you to attack, and then Holy Water again. If you mash, you might get a third attack. What you want is an attack, Holy Water. And that second Holy Water is going to come out while the Hydro Storm is still happening. You can kind of see these watermarks here on the side. And that's going to give you a few more damage stack opportunities. Immediately after throwing the third Holy Water, grab the cross. We're done with the Holy Water at this point. And now, if Dracula's still alive, we just want to kill him. So burn any additional crosses you still have by just like throwing them at Dracula. And then finish him off with whips. Or if you are able to do blade dashes, use those because they do a ton of damage. But if you're watching this tutorial and following along with this strategy, you probably can't do blade dashes, and neither can I. Or at least consistently. If he has a ton of health, you can avoid his mouth fire by ducking for the first attack, and then jumping over the second, and then ducking the third. If you get hit, it's not a big deal. You just won't get 80 health. It's fine. And if Dracula jumps over you, you can use the uppercut, so the down-up jump, to do a fairly decent amount of damage. I think it's pretty comparable to the blade dash, but it's really just good as a finisher. Because if he doesn't die from it, you can get stuck between his legs, and that becomes a bit of a nightmare. Because Richter isn't very tough, so if he takes a few hits, you'll get Maria'd. And if you get Maria to come on the screen to save you, you're never going to make the time. You'll just lose. So like if you see Maria come on because you've died, just reset immediately, because you'll never get any of the benefit. All right, so that's how this fight works. And you know, I just realized I spelled continued wrong. Whoops. Anyways, so now that I've shown you the 6 throw method, I want to show you how this works. But I actually don't want to show you this method. I want to show you a better method. But let's just show you the 6 for now. I've got the game up here. Let's do this and this. So let's bring this all together. But we're going to do a different method to actually do this. If my controller will work. Come on. Why is it? Come on, controller. Get in there. All right, now we can do stuff. All right. So let's do this 6 throw method. Again, we're going to learn something that's a bit more aggressive, but this is definitely a safe method. So we're mashing through this bad boy. You can see my inputs at the top of the screen. Initiate the run. 1, 2, 3, 4. Attack. Run. Jump. Uppercut. Grab the heart. Slide. Attack mash. Run forward. Attack. Slide, 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 slide. Richter doesn't have to run that fast. We didn't get the sound effect. Jump and cross it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grab the cross. Grab the holy water. Hydro storm. Holy water. Grab the cross. There we go. And the weight comes up here. Don't mash, but 1, 2, holy water, grab the cross, and he died. And then get rid of any additional crosses you have, which in this case was just 1. All right. And he gone. So that's going to give us our good statistics here. But what we want to do is something else. So let's look into that. So what we can do, because we're not doing blade dashes, right? If we do the 6 throw method, we're going to be slower than anyone doing blade dashes. And I don't know why more people don't do this, but you can actually beat Dracula a lot or like a couple seconds faster by using a 4 throw method. So instead of throwing 6 holy waters to bring your heart count down, we're going to throw 4. And the reason we want to throw 4 is we can start the damage stack on Dracula's first form sooner. So typically when you throw 6, Dracula appears as you start doing the Hydro Storm. And then he gets hit by things, and then you throw the Holy Water. And then at that point, you get the damage stacks. But ideally, you want Dracula to appear and the damage stacks to start right away and to kill it fast or kill him faster. And you can do that by simply just throwing fewer holy waters. There's a couple of nuances to it, and it can be a bit slower, but with practice, it's very consistent. And even if you don't get damage stacks, you'll still be able to do the fight really effectively. And if all things work out, you'll have made up some time, or maybe even be faster than folks who've done it with the blade dashes. And you might be buying yourself more time. If you struggle with the second form of Dracula, getting those extra seconds back, they can prevent you from starting the game with 70 health and then wanting to reset. So how is it different? We're going to do everything we did to get to Dracula, right? Using the Stairmaster method. So what we're going to do is we're going to first grab the holy water. And in this case, I definitely try to throw a cross into the candle, because I'm going to only be throwing 4. I might as well get rid of an extra heart, and it doesn't really cost me any extra time to do it. It's not required, but you'll have to get rid of more crosses later, because now we're going to be carrying more of them. We're going to throw full 4 holy water off to the side. We're going to do the Hydro Storm. And then Dracula won't be on screen while we start it. And then Dracula is going to be ready to get hit as we do the or throw the holy water during the Hydro Storm, which is going to allow for faster potential stacks on the first form. The if you don't get damage stacks, what you or really what you want to do is, you don't know if you're going to get damage stacks on Dracula, and you want to make sure you kill him, right? So to avoid him teleporting, after you throw the holy water, just run forward and jump and attack him, and then just keep jumping and attacking and whipping the guy. You will succeed on the first form, even if Dracula doesn't get any damage stacks. And if you get damage stacks, you're going to be making up a lot of time. The only downside is when we pick up the cross, when we run to go and attack Dracula, that's when we'll pick up the cross. We only have so much time to grab the holy water. And if we didn't get stacks, it's possible that if we wait for the ideal time to pick up the holy water, which is when this animation immediately begins, we may lose the holy water, and we can't accept that. So if you don't get damage stacks, then what you got to do is grab the holy water as it starts flashing. Like, you can give it like a second or so, but you got to make sure you grab it before it disappears. And then you'll just start the Hydro Storm early on phase 2, which can be good because you're going to have the same thing happen. You're going to have the damage stacks starting right when he's ready to go, but you're going to get less of the holy water or the Hydro Storm effect by itself, which may lead Dracula to have a bit more health at the end, and then you'll have to finish him off. So that can be a problem. But But let's show this off here. So let me bring up the game again. Go. There we go. All right. And I got movement. Perfect. All right. So let's do the fourth row method. And this is 100% what I do every time I play the randomizer. I never use the sixth row method. All right, here we go. So same stuff as before. So run, 1, 2, 3, 4, attack, grab the cross jump. There we go. Mash, grab this, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now is a perfect slide there. Here. Okay. Holy water, 1, 2, 3, 4, cross. Holy water, Dracula's not ready, but don't worry about it. Item crash. Oh, you see, he died before I even got to him. Now wait, grab it when it goes. Holy water, 1, 2, holy water, grab the cross, and then I just got to throw one cross. He almost burned me with the fire, but that was a lot faster. We got damage stacks on the first form, and you could see how I grabbed the cross right away by running into Dracula and getting ready to attack. You saw me go to whip him, but by the time I got there, he was already dead. So we saved a bunch of time there. And then second form went pretty well as well. We didn't kill him with both the damage stacks, but we got close enough. So when I do the the fourth row method, I can kill Dracula in about 45 seconds to photo burn if everything goes well, which is kind of around where most people will do it if they're doing the sixth row method and doing blade dashes. It's possible to do it even faster, but I don't recommend this. So there is a very aggressive three throw method, and it's essentially the same thing, except that after you throw the third holy water, you've got to wait just a moment so that you have enough damage on Dracula through the Hydrostorm to be able to kill him his first form and not have him teleport away. It's very aggressive. I think I can get down to, I think my record was I did it in like 43 seconds, so I saved like 3 seconds by doing it. But it's definitely not advisable. I don't do it because it's so inconsistent, but it's theoretically possible. So we've gone for this for a half hour, so we've probably spent too much time on this. But that's how this bad boy works. So all of the steps are in this video. So like just go backwards and pause the video whenever you need it for the setup. I hope the fourth row method serves you well. You'll certainly have the opportunity to save a whole bunch of seconds. And now we know also why the prologue is so important and why people spend time on it. I would say if you're going to start racing, you definitely need to be killing Dracula consistently in under a minute and starting with more MP, more health, and the items. So that's all for me. Hope you enjoyed it. If I have any problems or I made mistakes, let me know in the comments, and I'll put any corrections in the pinned comment. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Take care.